And welcome, guys. This is Salamancer. You're watching Sal TV. We've got another Highlander game on the same map, actually, as the last one I cast. This is CTF HAARP. It is played just like Dustbowl, pretty much, except that instead of standing on the point to cap it, you bring the intel to the point, and the enemy can't be standing on it, and then you cap it. So there can actually be some really fast caps or some really slow ones, depending on what's going on. Let's go down the rosters here. On defense, we have Knights of the Apocalypse. That is going to be S-Dog on the Medic, Corn on Pyro, 4 Life on Spy, Hugh on the Heavy, and I've seen Hugh play all kinds of classes. He's just an amazing player. Science on the Sniper, Tune a Fish, haha funny, on the Scout, Pete the Plumber on Soldier, Jeff on the Engineer that we're watching right now, setting up the standard defense on HAARP, and Collide on the Demo Man. I've seen a lot of Collide and S-Dog and TF2 Lobby as well. So these guys, I've seen them play, seen them a lot actually. Meanwhile, on offense, we've got Desolation Angels playing against Knights of the Apocalypse, and they are going to push out here very soon, so we're going to go ahead and watch just the sniper cam real quick, and then we're going to switch off. Okay, so the sniper battle is underway, but we've got a push out on the right-hand side. I will go down the roster for Desolation Angels in a little bit, but we, of course, want to see the action. Lots and lots of very, very heavy turtling here on HAARP. It's a very standard thing to get that turtle. So we have level 3 sentry set up already, and of course HAARP, I mean, just the way it's set up, you get a lot of that. You're going to get some turtling here. On the second point is really where it just gets ridiculous, and if you've watched my other video, you already know. The Uber comes in, though, and they managed to get it in here without having to pop early. So, oh, but look at that. They've, Knights of the Apocalypse here, setting up the Wrangler on their sentry, so that is going to keep that sentry alive for a lot longer than it really should be, considering there's an Uber Heavy right on top of it. Spy coming in, trying to knock it out, but he's not going to get very far. Ends up actually using the Dead Ringer, and he might just get away here. That is ridiculous, that Dead Ringer with its crazy damage mitigation once you've activated it. The sentry here looks like Jeff is doing a really good job of keeping that up. We've got lots of enemies trying to push in here, but he is just not letting that sentry die. Once again, Ringleader here doing a good job of keeping his Uber up. It looks like we missed S-Dog actually dying, and so that is not going to be good for them. They are going to get an Uber here, and there's going to be no counter Uber to stop it. And I like this play here from Desolation Angels here, Sunkistadora. We're just going to call him Sunkist, but he looks like he wants to set up a level 3 sentry here in this forward position, and if that doesn't go down, that's going to be really bad for Knights of the Apocalypse here. They're just they're not going to be able to ever push out there at all. Uber Demo Man coming in this time. Of course, it's going to take 6 full stickies to knock this thing out, so we're going to have to see whether he can actually do it. Lots of damage coming in, but it's going to get repaired real quick, so the sentry is still up, and now we have Hugh walking out here. Looks like he actually did manage to knock out that sentry before it really got taken up, so not a lull in the action yet. Desolation Angels still pushing in here through the right-hand side. We're going to have to see if they've got anything going up on the left. Not really, just the Scout. Oh wow, looks like a Nova mode here for Desolation Angels is actually disconnected, so that's not going to be good, and we do have a pause, so we'll be right back. And we're back, guys. Looks like we did have one person from Desolation Angels lose his place in the game, but it's not going to matter too much at this point. Their push has kind of failed here anyway. Now, interestingly, Knights of the Apocalypse here, standing back on defense, and of course everybody's ice skating right now because there was a pause. That will be fixed, of course, as they die. But KA here has 100% Uber. They are running the normal Uber right now. I've actually seen S-Dog, especially in lobbies. I've seen him run the crits a lot, even on defense. And it's really just kind of a surprise tactic, but he does it all the time, so it's interesting to see that in a competitive game he will run that normal Uber. Uber pop here really early by Ringleader from Desolation Angels, so once again, oh wow, counter Uber on the Pyro. That's really what you like to see here, having a Pyro just run out, air blast everybody. Now Desolation Angels did a good job of keeping themselves alive mostly. Looks like they did have one backstab down to a Scout, but the Uber Pyro there was just very well done by KA. It's a very typical thing in Highlander. When the enemy rushes in at you with an Uber demo or something, you Uber that Pyro just to keep your sentry position alive and to keep your keep your enemies air blasted back. Sometimes you can even get some really good kills with an Uber Pyro because it is a scary thing to get in up close on somebody. So we're actually really good spam in here from the lower area right now. That sentry is remaining up, but he's taking a lot of damage at this point, and Red Team more and more is just having to fall back. And we've got 9 on 9 once again. Just reloaded my HUD there so we can actually see that there are 9 players for each team. Good backstab there. 4 life taken out. Rise against 22. And looks like the Spy for our blue team has been taken out. Finally, the Wrangler comes up here. It's taken a lot of damage, but once again, the Uber Pyro just doing a really good job. Now, I don't like S-Dog's positioning, though. S-Dog, the red medic here for Knights of the Apocalypse, kind of ran into the enemy team. Maybe he was trying to do some body blocking, but he could have been taken out. That would not have been good. Sounds like we've got maybe a little sniper battle coming on, but I think the sniper for Blue got taken out Nova mode, so he's going to have to be coming back up. So while we're waiting just a little bit here for the Ubers to get back up, and we're going to see a push, of course, as soon as the Blue gets the Uber again. But we're going to go down the roster for Team Desolation Angels. I keep forgetting the names, but yeah, it's going to be Ringleader on Medic, Pudding Cup on Pyro, Bone Singer or Bone Singer, I can't tell which, on the Heavy. We're just going to call him Singer. Nova mode is their Sniper, Skeeter is their Scout, Nipsey their Spy, Demo Man, Chris, Rise Against, Soldier, and of course Sunkeistador. We've already seen him try to put that forward sentry up as the Engineer. Alright, we've got Uber's nearly up now for Ringleader, so once again he's going to try to push in, but who's he going to Uber this time? We don't actually know. This, I don't like that play. Looks like Tuna Fish and 4 Life, the Scout and Spy, both went down, and Pete very quickly afterwards. So KA just extending a little bit too much here. They do manage to counterpop the Uber, but they don't have the Pyro up this time. The sentry is going down, so looks like they just want to get as many kills here as possible, kind of stand on the point and delay this push a bit. But wow, gets pushed back out here. That's not where you want to be as a Medic Heavy combo. Really far behind the enemy lines here, so I think that was just a really bad positioning choice on their end. S-Dog, yeah, gets taken out. Now, in a normal Dust Bowl match, this would just be a complete roll. They'd walk over to the last point and cap it, but of course, since this is HAARP, the intel has not actually spawned yet, so they have to wait for that intel to spawn. They have to bring it all the way up here. It's going to spawn very shortly if it hasn't, but of course, it just gives Red Team time to set up on this second point here. Lots and lots of death going down here, mostly on the Blue Team here. Pete did end up getting taken down, and now Nipsey has gone down as well. But look at this, we've got a really, really strong defensive setup here on this second point. Now this isn't, I don't think this defensive setup is actually quite as strong as the one that we saw in the Clan McCart versus Into the Limbo game, because what they did was they had their medic just get up there and sit on top of that computer right there. He had his back to the wall, just impossible to hit that medic at all, so you have to go for picks on everybody else. S-Dog here, looks like the Uber was kind of forced in by Blue Team, but Desolation Angels not getting a lot of kills, so they're just going to be running around, and there is, oh, big headshot from Science! So doing some science there, and another big headshot there. Nova mode finally taking out Pete the Plumber on defense. So the sniper battle. Look at this. We've actually got the medic carrying the intel right now. That's kind of an interesting choice, because if he Ubers and he has that intel out, he's not going to go invulnerable. He can still Uber, but only his target will be invincible. He will not. So hopefully he drops that and lets somebody else take it, because you don't want to be in a situation like that. So S-Dog's positioning, I guess, could be a little bit better here. I think if he just sits back and stays with his back to that wall, he will be perfectly fine. But we're going to have to see what happens here, as Blue Team is setting up their forward position. Of course, this is a popular area, but looks like they're not using it quite yet. Spy out here does get a pick on the Demo Man. That's going to be pretty important. With Chris down, they're not going to be able to spam down any sort of sentry. Sentry in a very, very typical location here, watching the point, and it's very difficult to hit it except from that one little sniper window up there. Now, where is the sniper for Knights of the Apocalypse? He is on the point, it looks like, just about. Let's find him. Can't find him yet. Anyway, we've got a lot of talking coming in from Desolation Angels right now, actually through TF2. I'm wondering if they have their own voice server, because usually these guys do, but sometimes I guess there's a little bit of miscommunication there. They've got the Uber, they're going to push in, and they're going to Uber this heavy out there. Good air strafing by the medic to let him stay up there a little bit longer, but yeah, that sentry's up, it's wrangled, and of course the Wrangler makes an extremely tough defensive nut to crack. Very, very big headshot there, lots of kills coming down, so looking like Blue Team once again is foiled away from the point. They are not going to be able to get in here and attack this very, very strong defensive setup. And I mean, very few teams are going to have difficulty defending a setup like this. This box here that you have to walk all the way around it just to attack people in, I mean, it's probably the most well-fortified bunker I've ever seen, even on a custom map. We've got 4 Life kind of chasing around the sides here. Looks like they did try and bring the intel really close, but that's not really going to do a whole lot. So let's see if 4 Life can get any big picks here while the Ubers build up. They are getting, oh, maybe not. It's going to go up against this Engineer and get taken down. So Ubers building up. They're going to be minus a Spy, minus a Sniper minus a Spy and minus a Scout on the Blue Team. But of course the Assassins are both dead right now, just coming up for Blue. Did I say Blue? I meant Red. I'm getting so confused here, guys, but this is a slower game than our last one, at least for the first round, because it looks like both teams have had, or at least KA has had a really good defensive setup. The pushes have been kind of okay coming in from Desolation Angels, but yeah, we've got 60 seconds left. It's going to be very difficult. They're going to have to win this push, or else they're not going to be able to go on to the second map, and that's going to be no good for them. Good Uber in here on the heavy. They're going to take out this demo man over here, and the soldier is carrying the intel right now. And there we go, counter Uber on the pyro. But interestingly, of course, the pyro's trying to air blast them, but he can't because they're they're on that downward slope. He's just trying to basically air blast them into the ground. Good offense here. Only 3 left up right now for Knights of the Apocalypse, so they may get taken out here. And oh, very, very good action there. Nipsey Russell with the intel walks in and just pokes S-Dog in the face until he dies. So, Knights of the Apocalypse here going to be on defense on their second map. They held off for a very, very long time, though. Good defense by Knights of the Apocalypse. KA holding out for 9 minutes on the first map alone. And as you guys recall, if you watched that McCart game, the first round for them went actually by in 8 minutes and 30 seconds for the whole freaking thing. So that was pretty insane. Let's watch how KA sets up their defense. It's probably going to be a little bit different from the defense that we saw earlier between McCart and ITL. This is going to be... It's going to be interesting to see. They've got their heavy standing in here. Looks like they want to set up a sentry too, although they kind of need to move out of the way. There they go. Engineer cannot place down a sentry when his teammates are watching. So looking like actually a pretty similar defense, except that the pyros were basically assigned to this little area so they could air blast people off. Not seeing that yet. The pyros just kind of hanging out. In fact, everybody from Red Team is practically hanging out here with a sentry. I'm not sure if I like that so much. Okay, they're walking off now. That's better. Yeah, I don't like the everybody cluster up next to the sentry because, of course, if a demo man walks in and starts sticky spamming you, everybody here is going to die really fast. So we've got the sniper battle, of course, going to have the KA sniper watching the left. It's a very common thing, and I think blue team is going to know about it. But wow, yeah, Pete the Plumber gets taken out by Nova Mode right away. That is the first pick, and without Pete, of course, they're going to lose a lot of mobility. Having the soldier able to jump up on top of that area is very, very important for defense. So losing the soldier, big deal here. And now, wow, a headshot on Tuna Fish there. So Nova Mode is going really huge here, trying to see if he can't pick off anything else. Now we've got a good turtle setup here, but the problem is it can get very easily surrounded. And there's a lot of good places for blue to push out here and try to attack. So Demo Man coming in, spamming in now. We're probably going to see the Wrangler get thrown up on this thing just as a defensive measure. And yeah, okay, Pyro is watching this side. The Uber does come in now. Ubered heavy, counter Uber on the heavy for KA. And looks like they are going to force this back just a little bit. Scout kind of trying to run around and see if he can't get in there, but I don't think that's going to work very well, Scout. Just so you know, heavies can actually track you sometimes if you're far enough away from them. Good kill there by our heavy for blue team, though. So he's going to keep the push alive here. He was about to die if that Scout had gotten one more meat shot on him. So yeah, keep that push alive. Knights of the Apocalypse taking a lot of damage. Their sentry is now down. All their buildings are down, and there goes both the heavy and the medic at once, taking a lot of damage there. I think 4 Life actually somehow managed to. No, I'm not sorry, not 4 Life. Yeah, was it 4 Life? No, it's Nipsey. Somehow managed to sneak in behind them and get a backstab in that room. So that's really crazy spy work there if he managed to do that. I was not paying that much attention, so sadly I'm not sure. Chris was trying to build that Uber up. There we go. He's finally going to grab the intel and push in. There's been a lot of death coming down for Desolation Angels right now. So, so here we go. They're pushing in, and they have to go all the way through this long, long hallway here. There's actually a side route, maybe. No. Looks like this hallway here is one huge choke point. There's a lot of good hold spots in the choke point, but the problem, of course, with this map here... no, looks like they're... Okay. No, they're 2 ways up. I was going to say, if you only have one tunnel, why weren't they defending that tunnel? But now I know. Now I know. So Tuna Fish gets a headshot down while the spy on Knights of the Apocalypse, I think, is doing a lot of work. And Nipsey Russell here coming in with the dead ringer, but he does get spotted. I don't think he is long for this world. There we go. He did die. Just went ahead and decided to cut that dead ringer short because he knew he was going to die anyway. So now we've got Desolation Angels here pushing in to this left side. Now I have not. I want to say I've never seen any of these guys, but I have actually. I think I've seen Pudding Cup in some TF2 lobbies before. All right, we've got Uber Demo Man coming in here trying to knock out this sentry. He's not going to be able to do it though, and it looks like he just instead of backing out there, he just tried to put down more damage, and that's just not going to work. Now. Good defensive action here on the low ground. They were trying to sneak that intel in there. Didn't see who was sneaking it in, maybe a scout. But they had somebody standing on the capture zone just to make sure that it couldn't get sneaked in past the intel, or past the sentry. So very well played there by Knights of the Apocalypse on defense. They've got a pretty decent defensive setup here. And Desolation Angels has their work cut out for them to assault this point. Now S-Dog here trying to charge his Uber as fast as he can. He is going to have Uber before before Desolation Angels do. And oh wow, Skeeter doing some really good flanking work here, not taking a lot of damage either. I like that. Very, very good scout work. And now we've got, interestingly, Sunkissed using the Jag. A lot of people have talked about using the Jag because it lets you put stuff up in a more forward position, but really, when you do the math on it, The Jag actually only builds like sentries like maybe half a second faster. It is not much faster at all. So it's as far as the damage that you lose, like if you could be using the Southern Hospitality and making people bleed, you're really losing a heck of a lot of damage there as the engineer. So it's kind of important actually to have something like a Southern Hospitality. I really disagree with engineers who use the Jag, but of course it's a personal preference thing. They may like that faster build time. I don't know. Wow, good way to pick out this Spy here. I don't think they've managed to find him yet, but Spy could have forced this push to really get hurt. Oh, here we go. Oh no, very close. They tried to sneak that intel in once again, but it's just not meant to be. Now they've finally got the Uber fading for red team. They're doing a lot of damage here. 3 men down, including the engineer on red. So if they can manage to take down the sentry is down. They're going to get in here and do some... Oh, this is going to be huge. Look at all the damage they can drop in here. 2 deaths at once, I think. Maybe just one. It was Ringleader who went down. But, yeah, there's a lot of good sticky spamming in there on that last point of the second map. But it just was not nearly enough to completely to cap that intel. So, oh my gosh, I'm tired enough right now that I'm actually at a loss for words here, but it's a very strong defense set up by Knights of the Apocalypse. They really crashed down onto that point, which is quite defended from the air. You really have to get up close and expose yourself to the sides and to a lot of flanks if you want to try and attack that point. So it's just an extremely turtle-heavy map. I think even more turtle-heavy in many ways than Dustbowl. So we are watching Turtle Fest 2011 with KA versus DesA, blah blah blah. Oh my gosh. KA versus, of course, Desolation Angels. I completely screwed the pooch on that. I was trying to be awesome. 4 life here, trying to get a good kill. Back off 4 life. You were probably going to die. Oh my gosh. Is he? No, he's just using the normal revolver there. So I thought I heard the Enforcer, but apparently not. It sounds like just a normal revolver kill. And there he goes. Gets a big backstab on Chris. So without the Demo Man, of course, it's going to be very difficult to push in here. Their medic is just now healing people up. So he apparently just, Ringleader just came up a little while ago. And so it's going to be about another minute before they can even manage to get in here and cap this point. I was watching the wrong person there. My bad. All right, so here we go. They've got a pretty good forward teleporter position. But their issue right now is that they do not have the Uber. They're going to have a difficulty pushing in. And so it's 3 minutes left on the clock right now before this round is over. And then Knights of the Apocalypse will have a very, I think, easy time taking this first round, assuming they can get past that second stage. Or second cap on the first stage. My bad. Here we go. We've got still the same defensive setup. They're giving a lot of ground away right now to their enemies. Oh, wow, but there they go. Snuck that cap in, and there was nobody standing on the point there, so it looks like Desolation Angels, they've just decided, you know, we really don't want to take out their defensive position because it's just too strong, so we're just going to sneak that scout in, and they kept trying it, and it finally worked. Knights of the Apocalypse just was not paying attention, so they ended up bringing it to the third map. 15-15, though. This is an extremely long capture time, which means I am going to be losing my voice very quickly, and pretty much probably going to go to bed right after this cast. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, that was an extremely nice capture from the scout, and KA just kind of caught off guard, you know. Too busy standing around and congratulating each other about how awesome their sentry was or something. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to probably see... Oh, no. Okay, so I was going to say see a sentry in a standard location like sitting right here where it's very well protected and protects the point. Instead, it's going down over here. Now, it's going to have a view of this little area, so it can do a decent job of like shutting off this corridor. But of course, that means it's also more exposed to this corridor. You can get a Demo Man, say, sitting right here and just launching barely charged stickies or pipes up at it. So we'll have to see whether this takes Desolation Angels by surprise a little bit. We'll see what Chris does here on offense. Not seeing the Uber popped out yet, of course. It's a wise idea by Desolation Angels. If they can make their opponents pop Uber first, that's what they want to do. Good stickies coming in here and attacking. The problem is he's not actually attacking the right location. And there you go. Of course, a soldier trying to rocket jump over here for blue, but that's not going to do anything because, of course, the sentry's going to knock him right out of the air. Perfect for that. It does a lot of knockback just on the bullets alone. Looks like they want to push forward here, and Uber Science is down right now, and I think maybe Tuna Fish just came back up. Sorry, I bumped my mic there, but oh no, they're not going to Uber yet. They're trying to hold it as long as possible, and there you go. Chris did manage to pick that sentry off very quickly, so they're going to build another one up here, but wow, lots and lots of pressure coming in here. The Ubers are now popped for both teams, and can Red Team keep themselves alive here? No, it looks like they're probably just going to end up, wow, yeah, That was a situation where they just did not have enough damage classes alive there. The Uber versus Uber was popped there, and really what S-Dog should have done with his remaining Uber was just kind of run back to the last point, because now he's given Ringleader a huge Uber advantage, and if they press it really hard here, I think that Desolation Angels could cap this last point really, really quickly. So we're going to have to see. They've got 66% right now. Now, Knights of the Apocalypse is really going to want to spam down this medic as much as possible, or send like a spy after him or something. But so far, no dice. That means about 90% Uber here. They're going to start being really aggressive. They're going to push in. They've got the scout walking up the right-hand side, so he's going to try to sneak that intel over here. He gets out. Looks like he does get taken down, so the intel is sitting over here. But with the Uber advantage going to Desolation Angels, they really, really ought to push in with the Uber. Here they go. Uber's coming in from the right-hand side. They're going to knock out this only level 1 sentry. Spy's walking the intel up right now. Lots and lots of people down for Knights of the Apocalypse, so that's going to be, I think, a quick cap. Pyro walks onto it, pushes the heavy off so that he can capture. He just says, I don't want to kill you, man. I just want to cap this intel. So pushes it off. There you go. So now Knights of the Apocalypse has to beat the entire 3 maps, but they've got 17 minutes to do it. That is like the longest time I've seen on HAARP yet. So can they manage to take this round off of Desolation Angels? It's all about how their offense goes now. And I want to find that Pyro, because let me see if we can... Where's the Pyro? Where's the Pyro? Where's the Pyro? Pyro, come to me. Clicking through everybody but the Pyro right now. So here's Korn. Not only does he have a really awesome hat, but he's got the googly gazer, I think is what that is, or whatever the eyeballs are. They like spin around when you start jumping and stuff. No, we're not watching that right now, but they really do jiggle, I promise, guys, especially when they die. I've watched them like roll back in their heads when they die. It's hilarious. So yeah, really nice little hat setup there from Korn. So let's check the defensive setup now for on a more serious note. Check the defensive setup here for our Desolation Angels team on the red this time. They are defending, and they have to defend for 17 minutes. Their spy is playing really far back here. Nipsey Russell not going to go for any sort of spy play up here and try to take people out. And of course, if he had, looks like he would have gotten taken out there. So I guess that was a wise choice. Yeah, he probably would not have gotten a kill there, would have just been taken out, so we're going to have to see what he does. Oh, but their sniper goes down right away, and it looks like actually Nipsey did get taken out by some... no, he's right back up, so he was just absorbing some damage there with the dead ringer. But look at this, they've done the same thing now, where they're bringing out the looks like Desolation Angels bringing out that Pyro Uber. It's a very standard thing when you're trying to defend a very strong defensive setup here. Oh, so close to death. Sunkiss just barely manages to get that thing back up, and he is getting heals now, but... wow, lots and lots of damage getting pushed out here by Hugh. Hugh is in a perfect position right now. They're pushing without an Uber. They know that they have a little bit slight Uber disadvantage, but lots and lots of damage coming in here for Knights of the Apocalypse. Wow, if they can just get in there, and here they go. They're going to cap it. They capped it really, really fast there, guys. That was an extremely quick first cap, so it's looking promising. Knights of the Apocalypse should be able to take at least this first round, but of course, it all comes down to whether they can get that second cap, and that second cap is an extremely mean beast to deal with. Now, they do have 15 minutes, 16 minutes still to capture the whole thing, but of course, they only have 7.5 minutes remaining on this map. If the 7.5 minutes wind down and they haven't captured this point, that 15-minute timer doesn't actually matter. Both of the timers come into play. So we've got pushing on the left and the right side right now. They're just watching their flanks here at the moment while they get the intel up and ready to go. They have the Uber, so now we're going to see them probably try to push out here. Here they go. They're pushing out to the left-hand sides. They're going to walk in and try and... Yeah, they're waiting as long as possible before they pop this. Going to take out the sniper right away, so did well there. S-Dog here pushing as far forward as he can. Good flash on the Uber there, though, by Ringleader. So I like what Ringleader is doing here. He's keeping as much of his team alive as possible here so that they can deal a lot of damage to blue team's offense. But look at this. Hugh does such a great job, I was going to say, of and really it is a great job, even though he got he got backstabbed there. He does a really great job of keeping his pushes alive when the enemy doesn't have Uber. So if he knows the enemy doesn't have Uber and he's already in a good forward position, he just likes to get in there and deal a lot of damage. And of course, there's nobody to stop him, right? You know, you can't turn everybody invulnerable when you don't have the Uber ready to go, is what I'm trying to say here. John Madden style. All right, so Hugh, we're going to watch him again. Looks like he wants to just hang out here and defend the flanks for a little bit while they build that Uber up. Ringleader is going to have the faster Uber here because S-Dog went down, but you kind of expect that on one of these really tough pushes, is that your medic is just going to go in there and be as aggressive as possible, keep his team healed and up for as long as possible so that they can hopefully cap it without him, because if he has to drop back, I mean, it's not going to be that much of a difference in his Uber charge timing here. It's going to be about a minute anyway. So here we go. We've got, of course, the number one excellent defensive setup here on Desolation Angels. Just standing inside this office here. This is, of course, an extremely difficult position to crack. We've already talked about it. Science here trying to see if he can't get a headshot. Good work on the scout here, but of course trying to walk in to a point that is defended, has somebody standing on it. Actually doesn't have anybody standing on it right now, but there they go. They finally got somebody on the point. But yeah, blue team is just crumbling a little bit here, and wow, good job on the buff banner. That's the first time we've seen that all game, but that's going to keep a lot of damage coming down on blue team, going to force them really, really far back, and wow, that was actually, I think it was not a crit, it was but what happened there was a body shot by our sniper on red team. Who is that? Who is that? Nova Mode on red team managed to get a body shot under the effects of the buff banner, which is why it was a crit. So that's why we saw Pete the Plumber end up dying. And I'm saying Pete the Plumber instead of Pete the Plumber because he's got an underscore in his name, but he doesn't have an underscore between the and Plumber, which is kind of strange to me. So, you know, whatever. It works. It's TF2 naming. There is no convention for this. The Modern Language Association has abandoned Team Fortress 2. Nipsey Russell here checking to see if there's anything on the left side. There actually isn't. I'm surprised he didn't get spotted there, but where's he going to go? Is he going to go try and knock out the teleporter? We do have an Uber coming in now, so I'm not going to watch that at the moment, but we're going to have to check that out. Good work by the Pyro here to air blast that Uber back, actually. I really like that. And now with the Uber fading for red team, this may be the cap that they need. There they go. Knights of the Apocalypse managing to seize the arena. So Nipsey was back there behind enemy lines. He was going to try to get a good pick there, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Maybe he was even going to go for the teleporter. I don't know. You can do a lot of stuff while you're behind enemy lines as a spy. But of course, if the enemy team captures the intel, all that stuff you're doing just kind of doesn't matter anymore. So that was a very quick capture time compared to the capture time of Desolation Angels. So Knights of the Apocalypse looking like they're probably going to be able to take this round. That's what I want to say. They will, of course, have their work cut out for them throughout the rest of these points, but one of the most difficult points to capture there is that second one on the first map. So here they go. Good forward defensive positioning here. I like the positions just a little bit better from red team. They look like they kind of know where they want to be, whereas Knights of the Apocalypse, when they started this defense out, they were like, well, let's all kind of stand and clumped up here. Not that I'm making fun of anybody. Where is the sentry going up? It's actually in a really back position here. This is the first time I've seen the sentry set up here. I kind of like this. I like where it is. It's still a little bit in range. I think if a sniper wanted to just edge around here, he might be... No, he can't actually see it. It's defended by that truck there really well. I like the sentry location, guys. This is some creative stuff coming out of Desolation Angels. Nova Mode ends up getting a headshot on Science, so the sniper battle has been won right now. Of course, that sniper will be coming up very soon. Uber coming in. He Ubers the Pyro, interestingly enough. I'm not entirely sure what the reasoning for that was. Maybe they just wanted to start air blasting people off the edge. But, of course, a counter Uber from the Pyro there from Desolation Angels means that it's practically a wipe there for Knights of the Apocalypse. They're having to run back here, and they're just taking way too much damage. Science here getting the heals, so looking like there's going to be a about even Uber situation unless something crazy can happen here. A good kill there on Nipsey. Manages to... Well, it wasn't a kill. Nipsey manages to dead ringer out of it. So he took a headshot, but he's right behind the enemy team once again. Good pick on the heavy there. Can't get the medic, though. It's really what he wanted, and so he's just going to end up getting, shot out of the sky there by the Pyro, the Demo Man. Yeah, it was a Demo Man plus the Girardi that really killed him. Interesting, we have Spy coming back over here. Did manage to sap that sentry briefly. A lot of damage coming down on it right now, but it's getting ripped right back up by Sunkist. So very, very good positioning there. I love the sentry position. Sunkist is chosen well, so excellently done to them. That's going to make it much harder, I think, for Knights of the Apocalypse to push in. Good little forward mini-sentry position here. It does get spotted, though, and taken out. But Uber coming in once again, and S-Dog just briefly loses his teammates there. Demo coming in, trying to spam that down, but with the Wrangler, of course, that sentry just has beastly amounts of health points. So now there's only 4 remaining left alive for Desolation Angels, and this is really when Knights of the Apocalypse wants to press their advantage as much as possible, get in there, try to kill more people, and maybe knock out... Wow, yeah, look at that. Knocks out the sentry. Excellently done there by 4 Life, the spy for Knights of the Apocalypse. So he saps it, manages to revolver the engineer down. That's going to mean the push is finally going to come in from Knights of the Apocalypse here. But, oh, the Pyro, is that the Pyro? No, whoever that was anyway, just got taken down. It was the Engineer trying to bring the intel up there. But now they hold, looks like Knights of the Apocalypse finally hold this area, so they are going to get the intel in. So excellently done. They're 10 minutes left, and they only have 3 points left to capture, so they're looking good. We're going to see if 4Life here ends up going up behind the enemy team, or so far he's just, there we go, finally cloaking up here and walking around this flank route. Knights of the Apocalypse wants to push in here and see if they can't stop the sentry from going up. 4Life, I like his decloak position there, and disguises the enemy engineer. Gets, wow, a really good sidestab. Another backstab there, so 4Life going huge. The medic down here as well. Ringleader, I think, ended up getting headshot there by Science. So this is going to be a super fast cap time here as long as they can knock out the soldier on the point. There they go. 9 minutes and 50 seconds left to go through the last point here. So, wow, guys, Knights of the Apocalypse being really, really dominant here on offense right now. Excellently done so far. So, let's watch how they end up taking this final map. Of course, it all comes down to this. They've got 10 minutes, but if Desolation Angels can manage to hold either their first or their second point for a really long time, it's going to make it tough for Knights of the Apocalypse. But so far, I've liked the offense from KA. There has been some creative sentry stuff coming up from Sunkist, but once again, of course, they're setting up their sentry in this little area back over here. Now, can the sentries see the same locations? Yeah, it looks like it is. It's going to be opened up to some spam, so I don't know if I like that sentry position very well. Now, of course, if the enemy can't see it, if they have to get all the way up here before they... maybe it's okay, actually. Maybe it's okay. If it had been sitting, of course, right here, then it could have been spammed down really easily. But actually, as far back as it is, and sitting right next to this this 200 ammo thing as well, I like that. I like that a lot. Dispenser coming down right here just so the heavy can have some ammo while he sits there and shoots and have some heals without the medic. That's good dispenser positioning there. And of course, the engineer figures he can do it because he doesn't need the metal. He's got that 200 thing sitting right there. So well done for them. Some spam coming into these corridors, but looks like the entire blue team pretty much is walking out through the right-hand side. They're going to Uber in. They're going to look for that sentry. I think they may have finally spotted it. So there they go. They're going to call out where it is. And then they're going to jump around the corner and start taking it out. Looks like the sentry's going to... Oh, wow. I was going to say going to get taken out really quickly there. But there it finally goes down to some good spam coming in from the left-hand side on this Demo Man here. Demo Man here, of course, being, I think, Collide still. Yes, Collide is on Demo Man. Knocking out that second sentry that goes down as well. So that's going to mean that no metal left for the engineer to build up the next one. It was a good position here, but they just didn't manage to hold it off against the Uber that came in on the right-hand side. Good defense there by the Pyro and Heavy, though. They're keeping the intel from being capped for as long as possible. I don't know if they can hold it off, though. It's like 8 people left alive right now. There they go. Just walking onto that point, and Spy tries, but it's not good enough. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, this isn't... This actually could be a real problem here. Oh no, okay, that's what it was. The Spy had dead ringered, so as long as he was still standing there, the cap was not allowed to happen. So HAARP is a little bit buggy that way. I think they probably should have made it so that if there's like a dead ringer invisible something Spy, it couldn't be capped. But whatever the case, that's just the perils of the game. Sometimes it's kind of a weird game mode where you got to bring the intel and you got to cap it, and nobody else can be standing on it. So, good quick capture time there by KA, but oh, Collide gets headshot there by Nova Mode. Of course, these snipers just extremely important for their team, getting big picks, lots and lots of damage down. Oh, could have actually headshot Edstog there. He does take down Science. So Nova Mode is almost single-handedly delaying the push here from... Wow! Delaying the push from Knights of the Apocalypse quite a bit. 4 headshots so far. Nova Mode is killing lots and lots of people right now, holding down this side by himself, practically. So Knights of the Apocalypse having to back off here against this just extremely good sniper play from Nova Mode. So... good defensive setup here. He has bought time for this sentry to go. I'm certain it's going to get up to level 3. It's not really that well protected, though. A sniper could, of course, just walk all the way down over here and start like picking off the engineer or picking off the picking off the actual sentry gun. The intel has been dropped up there. Looks like they probably had it with either Hugh or 4Life and ended up getting dropped down. Finally, blue team is able to push up here without fear of getting headshot to death. That was some insane play right there. They are Ubering the Demo Man in. They Uber him in very quickly. No Pyro up here to stop this yet. There he is, finally, and the Wrangler does come up. So, wow, they knock it out even with the Wrangler. That's something you don't see every day, the Wrangler sentry getting taken out there. But good job for them, so... the problem is, of course, another sentry is going to go right back up. Their engineer is going to be ready to go, and just Demo Man overextending there a little bit. Collide ended up going down, so he will not be able to stop the second sentry. And look at this buff banner coming up here, so they're just trying to make sure that blue team does not have the opportunity to push in at the moment. We've got 7 minutes, though, so that's time for, if they can manage to play really efficiently here. It's time for S-Dog to get at least 5 Ubers. 5 potential Uber pushes in here if they can play really efficiently. If not, it's going to be at least 3, so we'll have to see whether those Ubers can be effective. I like all the glass over here that Tuna Fish is using. Decides to drink the bonk and run out here. Bonk, of course, very useful for just gathering intel, getting to some forward positions while the enemy cannot damage you at all. Of course, you can still take knockback, so you can get popped in the air by rockets and stickies or by air blasts. But that double jump is extremely useful for continuing momentum as a scout. So, oh my gosh, Hugh just took some huge damage to the face there, ended up falling down. They are, once again, Ubering the Demo Man onto the point. The Wrangler's not gone up yet, so it can actually die really fast. Sentry could go down here, finally gets Wranglered and repaired. So, once again, a failed push there by Knights of the Apocalypse. 6 minutes left. They've got some time, but they really want to try and capture this as fast as possible. A good forward sentry location here. I'm kind of liking this. It's going to shut down a lot of this hallway here for the red team until they can manage to spam it down. But of course, it is in a very spam-heavy position, so Jeff decides to pack it up and drop it back just a little bit there. Good play there. He did manage to get a lot of damage down and just shut it down for a little bit. But now red team, once again, holding very, very far forward in this hallway. They could get headshot here, but it doesn't manage to happen. Now we've got Tuna Fish holding the intel once again. It's a good thing to have that scout holding the intel. He's very fast. You can bring it in behind enemy lines. But a good sentry location here by the red team. They don't have a dispenser up sitting next to it right now, so it's going to be tough for them to repair it. But that's okay. It looks like they haven't had to repair it all that much so far. So this is an extremely close game, guys. And we are watching. Looks like the Uber is just about ready to go here for blue once again. So they're going to push in. They may Uber a soldier in this time. Not sure who they're going to Uber yet, but they're going to have to do it as soon as they get it up. 90% right now, so got to push a really, really long way up this hallway, and Collide gets taken out, so they can't Uber a Demo Man right now. They're going to hold on to it, I think. Oh, what are you doing? S-Dog walks around the corner and gets headshot. Oh my gosh, drops Uber. That is not what you want to do as a medic at all. Oh man. I mean, I've always been told I main medic here, but when I started playing 6v6, even just as a casual thing, everybody started telling me, hey man, don't peek around those corners. You can't peek around those corners like that because you will get like headshot or you'll get spammed down or something. And S-Dog may just have never had a medic mentor to tell him that, but S-Dog, if you're listening right now, man, don't peek around those corners. That was crazy. So the buff banner, of course, went down for Desolation Angels, and they've got a good hold set up here now. About 4 minutes left, so they could actually do this. They didn't manage to delay Knights of the Apocalypse really all that long, but now KA is feeling the time crunch a little bit. They're getting that Uber coming back up. Let's see where Russell is. Nipsey Russell sitting back over here. Very close to blue spawn, actually. It looks like he may go for their teleporter or something. We're going to have to see what happens here, whether he comes through the teleporter, whether he just starts trying to sap it. Okay, so he is sapping the teleporter back at spawn. He's probably going to start shooting it down. There he goes. He took down that teleporter. That's actually going to be really huge, because that means that with this only about 4 minutes left, the engineer will end up having to go all the way back to spawn to try to build the teleporter up again, and in the meantime, it's only going to be level 1. So every push here that happens, every push here that happens, if it fails, we basically only have, I think, time for one more push after this. So this is a really, really interesting and strong defense coming in from the red team. They are Ubered. They did a good counter Uber there. The intel is sitting there on the point, very, very close to capturing, but the medic just stood right on the edge of that point, managed to keep it down. So a wrangled sentry on the opposite edge. This is not something you see every day. An offensive wrangled sentry there, but S-Dog just turns his back on that spy. Don't know if he realized it was a spy. Ended up getting backstabbed. And now, of course, because there's no forward teleporter, 3 minutes left, everybody's going to have to walk the long way all the way to the point here. It lets it gives a very, very long time here for Team Red to set up once again. Desolation Angels really showing us that they are doing an extremely strong job here of defense on this last point. They have really practiced this last point defense, I think. And of course, they have some very good players here as well. So we've got a long way to push here for Knights of the Apocalypse. They only have time for 1, maybe 2 more good pushes. Chris gets taken down. That's the Demo Man, so that's going to be a lot of area denial capabilities lost for Desolation Angels here. But they still have that Pyro, and that Pyro just walking around, WM1ing, checking for spies. He wants to make absolutely sure this team doesn't lose to some kind of a clutch spy pick. So extremely good job there of spy checking and playing defensive Pyro. That's one thing you really like to see the Pyros do as much as possible. Putting Cup, the ultimate defensive Pyro right now on CTF HAARP. But looks like there actually was a spy getting in here, so he didn't manage to catch that. Finally, 4 life has gone down, and the sappers have not done their job. They haven't taken that sentry down. So sentry's still up. Wow, that's actually really interesting. why is there only 60 seconds here for them to capture when there's still 1:45 left on the clock? I'm not sure exactly why that is. Somebody can maybe explain it to me, like the stream watching right now or in the comments. But yeah, somehow there's actually only 60 seconds left, 40 seconds now. And it looks like Knights of the Apocalypse is crumbling here. They can't get the offense ready to go. Science gets taken down by a body shot from Nova Mode. Knights of the Apocalypse only has time for one push here, and it's going to have to be a no Uber push. Oh, for life. Can he? Is the intel still here? It is still here, but it is very, very well defended. For life is going to have to find a place to decloak here. Is he going to be able to? No, he gets found out. Could have done something really clutch to spy there, but of course that was going to be an extremely risky move. The intel just got brought back to the spawn. So wow, guys. It looks like this is going to be just an insane round here, but that's it. Knights of the Apocalypse has lost 5-6 in this first round. So wow, extremely awesome first round. We're going to come right back with the second half.